It's Casey with 92.9 The Beat with the Beat Cares interview today. Today I have Kevin Weaver. He is the president and CEO of the Warriors Journey. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, Casey, thank you for having me so much. It's an honor and a privilege.
Awesome. Well, for those who may not be familiar with the Warriors Journey, tell us what inspired its creation.
Really, the inspiration for us came through a relational connection originally with the idea with my nephew, and then I have a buddy, my nephew, who actually served in Fallujah in 2004. And as the GWAT began to go, people who don't know what that is, the Global War on Terror, we do that acronym thing in the military, right? So, he served in Fallujah, then he came home, went back and served again. We began to have some really great conversations about some of the stuff he was processing, and I began to understand something that we do a great job preparing our warriors for battle. They're an amazing fighting force. They get out there, they do that, but we don't do a very good job preparing our men and women who serve to deal with the remnants that take place after the battle. So we begin to discover, and I begin to discover what we call now invisible wounds. And many people are using that term, which I'm grateful for, because we're wanting to bring awareness and then also bring solutions to those things. And so we actually did research in 2014, 2015, got help from the Pentagon, which was fantastic. They allowed us to, through their channels, to do a broad scope survey to try to discover what are the top unique challenges dealing with invisible wounds. And it was the warrior, the family members, the people engaged, and even veterans. And then the Harvard School of Business gave us some really amazing resources. They did all the data assimilation for us, and they gave us this comprehensive report like, hey, these are the top 12 issues that we feel like veterans today, and this is all in 2014 now, 14 years after the war began, right? 14, 15 years. And many of these folks had been dealing with the residual effects with no strong ongoing help. And so we kicked that off. We said, hey, we're going to build it around those areas. Isolation being number one. Of course, everybody hears PTSD, right? PTSD is and it was one of the topics, but it ranked number 10 out of 12. We were kind of surprised that there were other issues like moral injury, family brokenness, identity issues, reintegration, from long deployments. These were issues that were much more severe. And so we thought, let's tackle these specifically. Let's get some of the best people in the room. We developed a website with 7,000 articles and all kinds of different ways for people to begin to navigate. And then the kicker here, I'll kind of wrap it up with this, is that we developed a one-on-one system, just like I did with my nephew. That one-on-one relationship, he trusted me because I'm a veteran, and he understood that I wasn't going to judge him, and that I didn't think he was crazy and needed to be, the way that the VA deals with it. It's a one regiment treatment. You get drugs and you get psychological care, and for many, that's not necessarily inappropriate for some, but it's not appropriate for everybody. And so we said, let's fill that gap, and we did it through relational care, triage, and then offering opportunities for them to discover what's the best way for them, not just to manage those struggles, but how do we help them to find healing from invisible wounds. So that's really our mantra. The Warriors Journey is all about healing invisible wounds, and we do it by warriors helping warriors. And
I really like the fact that you have that community kind of feeling in there, especially coming from your nephew and being able to connect on that. Do you feel like that is one of the invisible wounds that you can't find that quite connection, because that is such a unique life experience?
It is. And, and a lot of, especially him being a Marine, if you don't know what he's gone through, or if he doesn't think you know what he's gone through, he's not going to talk to you, and that's a true, it obviously it varies with the individual, but that is a true dynamic with across the board throughout the military. So when we connect people, as soon as they call us, hey, the first thing we do is we get them connected to what we call a warrior connector, a battle buddy. And if it's a Navy guy, it's going to be someone from the Navy. If it's a Marine and so on, Air Force, it's like gender, right? So it's going to be another guy or gal. It's going to be with someone that's going to understand their service. We try to find people who have actually served even at the same time, many times serving in the same unit, and it just creates trust. And so trust begets vulnerability. And so we train our connectors. Look, they're not counselors. If they need counseling, we can help them find that. If they need even psychological care, we've got that. Mental health. I mean, we're all over that. We've got all kinds of things we can do along that line. But really what we find is most people just need someone that they can trust, talk to, process. And then from there, we see how that that pans out for next steps. So customize that approach for them. We're not pushing them into something that we feel like makes sense. We're actually approaching the issue head on, and we're pivoting where necessary to make it work for them.
Military life comes with definitely a set of challenges that most civilians may never see in their lifetime. And you were talking about invisible wounds. And you said that PTSD was number 10. What are those top like 3 or 5 that if somebody is trying to get some help addressing, what kind of help does Warrior's Journey address that?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I really appreciate asking that because, you might be surprised, but isolation is the number one issue. There's that tendency to say, hey, I'm good, I'm fine. I don't need help. And the military kind of it leads to that. It's counterintuitive to finding help with this because they say, hey, listen, you're on mission, get squared away. If you've got issues, well, they're gonna send you off, and you're gonna maybe lose your place, you maybe miss a promotion, whatever that may be. That's kind of the intuitiveness of the military. It's like go, 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 go. And these folks burn out, and then they send them to behavioral health. And the next thing you know, it cascades into a bunch of consequences. So most people don't want to go down that road. Mm-hmm. So what they do, they isolate. They just say, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And they can be around a bunch of people, but still be completely isolated with those issues. And that begins to tear them up, which ultimately, unaddressed, Casey, this is the problem. It leads to that epidemic of what we're seeing now with military suicide, whether it's the active duty or the veteran. And this is a staggering number. I mean, we lost a little over 7,000 killed in action in the global war on terror. We've lost over 140,000 individuals who have served either during that war or prior that have taken their own lives, which is crazy. In 20 years, and very few people are talking about it. And we're trying to say, hey, listen, we've got a serious issue here. And you've heard 22 a day. We feel it's much higher than that. The real numbers are actually saying it's much, much higher than that. So we are addressing those things. So isolation, identity issues, transition issues, going from active duty back into the civilian life. A lot of guys really struggle with that. A lot of women are struggling with military sexual trauma. It just is what it is. It's sad, but we're there for them to help offer, resources and programs and really relational connection and support for that. One of the other integrated things is, the distance that a man or a woman, what they sacrifice for their family. There's a local person here that we've been working with. She's been gone. Now this is her second year to be gone in a period of 4 years. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and her mom and dad, they're taking care of the kiddos, but they haven't had their mom for 2 years out of 4. And I think they're 10, 7, and 5 right now. I mean, so that's devastating when you think about how hard that is, not just for the kids, but for a mom to be away from her kids like that. So those kinds of things create challenges that we come in and say, okay, we're going to help you with that, whatever that is. And even physical services that we can offer to alleviate some of those pressures. We've just committed ourselves to doing anything and everything we can. So yeah, that's what the Warrior's Journey really is all about, helping you through your journey, helping you to find healing from those invisibles, not just to manage it, but to find healing. So hopefully that makes sense.
I did see on your website that your team responded to over 6,000 warriors in crisis last year and saved hundreds through the suicide intervention. Through that support process, what does it kind of look for somebody starting to reach out with you? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so we call that, how do they onboard, right? How are multiple on-ramps to our system or our program. And we don't even like to use the word program because really the program is the individual. It's like that's our core value. Every individual matters, and we're gonna customize to what their needs are. So they could come to us maybe through the website. Maybe it's an event that they have attended and they heard about us. It could be a QR code. We have a company car here that we drive around all over the nation. More here in Spring has a QR code out. We get people who just, hey, I need to connect with those guys. And so through could be through that format. It could be through referrals. So we take anybody, walk-ins. We have our headquarters building is right here on North Glenstone, just north of I-44. And we would just say to anybody and everybody, please call us. Let us know if you've got issues like that. So that's kind of how the on-ramping begins. And then what takes place again first, anybody who calls that we want to engage or they want to engage, the first thing we do is we get them connected to someone that they can trust, to start the process. Then we have a whole triage team that works diligently to find the best next steps. And I'll just mention this real briefly. One of the things that didn't exist, Casey, 10 years ago, lots of great veteran organizations out there. There's over 42,000 registered veteran service organizations in America. It's crazy. And as a veteran, it's like, where do you begin? Who do I trust? Because some of them are great and some of them not so great. So who do I trust? So we worked hard in the very beginning to vet what we feel are the best organizations, because we can't do everything. We don't do service dogs, but we've got some really great organizations who do, and we started partnerships with them. We don't do physical clinics, and those are important. And we found a couple of organizations that do a great job. We don't do long-term intensive inpatient care, but we found some of the best ones that are out there doing that, and we created those partnerships. So now we have 82 other partnerships. So our referral system is second to none. I mean, there isn't anybody out there that has ever done that. So we've actually coalesced these other groups, and now we're working together, for the cause of one person. Like if you come to us, man, we have a plethora of opportunities, that we can say, hey, and we're going to go with you and walk with you with each of those. We don't just hand you off, we go with you, and you become, part of our case management system, that one-on-one. It's all relational, all based on that. So, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you built that big resource is definitely helpful for anybody that's going to be needing that additional help. And the fact that you guys do take that care to go along with that journey with them. And yeah, I looked at your website and found that whole source of partners. That's amazing. Now, we know this work takes a community. For listeners who feel moved and want to be able to help out, get involved, and support, how would you recommend that? And I know you were talking about battle buddies. Are people able to volunteer for that as well?
Absolutely. Now, because it is a veteran specific thing, it's warriors helping warriors. So can I just talk to our veterans for a minute? Because if you're a veteran, if you're listening to this, even if you feel like, hey, nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You may be working through some things, but we would say, listen, we really need your help. We always are looking to add more warrior connectors to our system. And you get to be the one that gauges how much you're involved. So there's no pressure to do more than you can handle. But if you're a Marine out there, or you're an airman out there, or a sailor or a soldier, and you're listening to this, we want to help you find your next mission. Listen, your mission isn't over. Your military service hopefully was something that was in some ways very fulfilling. We talked to a lot of guys like, man, what could ever compare to being a part of something that was so much bigger than myself and feeling like I was really making a difference. Well, listen, this is equally impactful, because you can help us save lives and change lives of guys that are really walking through. And you being a part of that is a growth, taking your post-traumatic stress and turning that into post-traumatic growth. And we'll walk with you through that whole process. So please call us. We'd love to have you be a part of that. And there are actually even employment opportunities, to be a part of this as well. And then for everyone else, even if you're a family member, they can serve as connectors, a family member of a veteran, or we have a bunch of active duty guys. In fact, I'll mention there was recently up at a Air Force base not too far from here, was in the limelight, because of the B-2 bombings, right? Well, many of those personnel actually are connectors for us. We have a very close-knit a relationship with that particular unit, and pretty exciting. And we've been serving, helping them to navigate the actual stuff real time. And so listen, it doesn't matter where you are. There's places to serve. And if you're just a civilian that would like to help, we have all kinds of other areas that we need help with that we would love to say, yeah, please do that. And of course, please, you can always pray for us, right? But even, and as importantly, I should say, please, we need support. We're a nonprofit. So if you'd like to give, 87% right now, every single dollar, so 87 cents on a dollar goes directly back to our programs, goes back to helping our individuals. We try to keep those admin costs really low and those fundraising costs really low. So that's important to us as well.
Awesome. Now, is there any upcoming events or volunteer needs or initiatives that you have coming here local that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we'll be at Route 66. That's coming up here pretty soon. We have Navy Week is coming, the last week of August, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and they're going to be down in Branson. The Blue Angels are coming. Well, the U.S. Navy actually came to our office and said, hey, would you guys be willing to do an event for us? And with us, partnering with us, would you be willing to do that? and I'm pulling up my calendar here because I want to make sure I get the right date, but it's going to be the Thursday night, the 28th of August. We're actually having an event right next door to our location. It's going to be open to the public. We're going to have the Master Chief and the Navy is going to be here. We're going to have fireworks. We're going to have, a band. There's going to be the Navy Rock Band is coming. We have several different dignitaries that will be with us that night. Food trucks. It's just going to be a celebration, recognizing our folks who serve in the Navy. And here we are, right in the middle of the nation. We're not too big on necessarily always seeing Navy folks, but we're really happy to support them. And so they've asked us to partner. So we're putting on that event for the Navy, for the U.S. Navy. And so that'll be fun. And there may even be a helicopter or two that might land and do some things. But it's going to be a really cool event. That's 5:30 to 8:30 on the 28th of August. And we'll be getting more information out of that. So that's a big event coming up too. Really excited about that. And then we have our annual golf event in October, as well as several other events that we'll be doing. We do a big Christmas drive. We distributed almost 10,000 Christmas gifts to folks that were serving overseas or folks that couldn't go home last year. We'll be doing that again in partnership with Convoy of Hope. And so that's a great partnership that we've developed as well. So lots of cool stuff. And those are just the big ones. But lots of great things happening.
Yeah, sounds like it. So definitely we will make sure that we share that information on our event calendar. And for somebody listening right now, a veteran, a service member, or even a loved one that sees somebody that's struggling that hasn't reached out yet, what would you say to them directly?
I would just say, listen, don't be afraid. Please don't hold back. I promise you, and this is true for everyone who is, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but 99.9% of the people who contact us say, wow, I wish I would have done this sooner, because the environment that we've created here, it's very safe. It's very familiar. There's no judgment. Man, we've all been there. We've all come from these issues. And so now we're just here saying, hey, come on. We've discovered some great stuff. We really like to be able to share that journey with you. So, man, please, if you feel like you need to talk to someone, call us. If you need help, get help. There's nothing undignified about that. Nothing that says you're weak, right? Because most veterans are like, oh, I'm good. And if you're listening, I know you're there and you're thinking, yeah, that's me. I know it's you, because we know exactly. We were all saying the same thing. So, but don't let that get to you to a point where you deny yourself the opportunity to engage, to find new mission, to find a new sense of value. All those things. There's some practical things we can help you with. We'd be honored to do it, and we do it with the utmost care. Knowing we've been where you've been, we get it, and there's no way that we're not going to allow a lack of our experience to not be shared with you too. So yeah, please contact. The best way to do that, probably the easiest way to do it, is either walk in the door here on North Glenstone, or even better, go to our website. Super easy, twj.org. For the Warrior's Journey. Pretty simple. Even Marines can get it, right? Now all the Marines are mad at me right now. twj.org. And right on the front page, and any page you see, it says, let's talk. Hit that button. Takes 20 seconds to fill out this little information form, send it in, and within minutes, you'll have someone talking to you, and we'll be engaging with you to see what steps we can take to help you out.
Awesome. That is amazing. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your mission with us today. The work that the Warrior's Journey has been doing, saving lives, building resiliency and healing, definitely helping heal those invisible wounds, because those run deep. And the fact that you guys are doing what you can to address those and help people with them is doing a great, great work, and very powerful, deeply needed here across the United States. So, and like you said, you have different locations even around the world. Tell me a little bit more about the Germany, you said, and Japan.
Yeah, Germany, Japan. We have a 10,000 square foot facility in Germany. Again, that's really centered right there, right outside of Ramstein Air Base. There's about 80,000 active duty troops in that region. And Japan, right outside of Yokota Air Force Base. We do have our sights set on South Korea. We'd like to be at Camp Humphreys someday. That would be great, because another big group of active duty military, about 30,000 plus there. We're getting ready to open something in Poland, because we're moving a bunch of folks there. That's all happening in the next couple of years. And then around the U.S., Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, Whiteman Air Force Base. Obviously, we're already there. We're already at McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita, El Paso, Texas. Fort Hood, and so on. So we're spreading out. These are places we're currently at, but we really need to be. We hope to have a huge presence in every state in the next 5 years. That's kind of in our 5-year plan, is to really step that up and to really, again, share the message. You're not broken. You're just there's a lot of potential just waiting to find that next point in your journey. And we're here to bring you along.
And the fact that it all started here in Springfield and you've grown to be such a great community, I love that. If you or somebody you love is in crisis, a warrior in crisis, or you just need to help find your community, visit twj.org. Support community, real connection, and it's just a click away. Kevin, no red tape, no judgment, no bull.
That's right. And no cost. Absolutely free to everybody, all of our services. So yeah, please contact. We look forward to seeing you, and we're going to be honored to engage in your journey as we move forward. Casey, thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. But
Okay.
yeah, dude, you guys have been doing so great. I'm
crazy.
Excited. Yeah,
Well,
I'm excited.
and there's so many things that are expanding that I didn't even share. Yeah, it is very much expanding, and we're kind of feel like we're on a roller coaster. We're just hanging on, making sure we don't mess it up, as we take this ride. So that's our goal. And Casey, and thank you for your willingness to give some awareness to the folks. We have over 40,000 veterans that live in really the 3-county area, Greene, Christian County, and Stone County. About 40,000 veterans in this area. So there's a lot of people, more than I even knew when we first started. So thank you for doing that.
Of course. Yeah. Coming from family and friends that have been in the military, all different branches, I just want to be that connector piece. And thank you for being that resource that they could come to.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.